welcome everyone. It's lovely to see you all. I know a few names already. And what's your name? Grania. Excellent. Okay, I've already forgotten your name. Gina Grania Yorn. Good. I'm going to use that in a warm-up. Yorn. It's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah. Lovely. So, thank you, Peter, for having me in Cork. This is Leader as Facilitator. We're going to do a very practical session. But first of all, I'm just going to talk at you for a few minutes. I've worked with lots of different types of choirs, different ages, styles, backgrounds, different projects, different goals, different levels and abilities and expectations, as I'm sure you all have as well. But I think now it's even more essential post-lockdown. I'm not going to say post-COVID because we're now living with COVID. So post-lockdowns, as we re-emerge, to create really safe spaces for singing. We need that community re-engagement, we need to enable friendships and communities, understanding, bonding, all of those things become even more essential, I think, than they were before, because we need to re-engage with our choirs. So I think COVID really starved us all of that personal connection. And music, singing in particular, is absolutely the perfect tool for us to re-engage with our choirs. And we need to redevelop a strong sense of unity and belonging. You have a handout, which some of you may have over there, and on the handout, on the front page, it says, what makes a good singing leader? Well, I think I know what makes a good singing leader, but why don't we just go around the room and just say a few things? Starting over here, what makes a good singing leader? Oh, we can move on to Sean if you prefer.
I would say I'm not in the field, so it's just guessing. Like something like that has to do with empathy or being able to involve all the musicians and all the singers.
Mm-hmm. Empathy, inclusivity, yeah. Absolutely, yeah, Sean.
Yeah, I agree. I think having that sense of personal connection, social skills to inspire a performance is one of the huge range of skills that a leader has to have.
Yes, yeah. I have a handout which I almost put on here, which is a picture of a man wearing many, 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 many hats. Is it a man? I'm not sure if it's a man or one. It's a person. Let's call it a person. Many, 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 many hats. And then pointing out of these hats is like, you know, all of these mentor, babysitter, clinician, facilitator, you know, and it goes on and on and on. Accountant, photocopier, yeah, just absolutely everything is on there. But anyway, you didn't get that today. Absolutely, you're right. Someone who inspires choirs. Joel.
I kind of echo those words, actually. I was just going to say, perhaps being aware that the group is made up of individuals as opposed to just a single body of people that are all thinking and singing in the same fashion, really. So kind of echoing lots of what has been said, I think.
And actually, that's a really, really difficult job, isn't it? To bring everyone together on the same playing field, particularly that your workplace choirs, when some of them are, you know, CEOs and others are secretaries and they don't really see one another. So, yeah, actually bringing people together on a level playing field is key. Yes.
Being flexible and always motivating and remaining positive. And people are coming from all different life experiences and coming to rehearsal. Things can be very raw for a while until people warm up, I suppose, and get into the zone. But I suppose it's ever being able to change all the time yourself in order to bring on what's best in your group, really. And humour, I think, is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Adapt to the room. And know that we're all bringing in completely different things to the rehearsal. Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
I suppose leading on from what everybody else has said, but I'd see it as ownership of the people as well as shared ownership of the music. Mm-hmm. And a sort of practical, coming from what you just said, is that you start with your piece of plasticine, you know, not literally. You've got to have that, but then you can mould it and flex it. You've got to have both sides of it. And I think I saw on your sheet, the only other thing I would say was something about not deliberately being eccentric, because people will see your eccentricities anyway.
That's really interesting.
I've got some which I don't know about, but people will know them. So I won't. I remember receiving that very good bit of advice. Don't put any extra ones on because people will perceive them anyway. I thought that was really interesting.
Wow, that is really interesting, isn't it? But actually, being yourself, being authentic, is key.
Yeah.
And if authentic you is eccentricity, that's who you are. You can't pretend to be someone else. Well, you can, but we shouldn't, because I don't think that...
Don't put any on for the cameras, as it were.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Thanks, Mervyn.
Well, apart from all those very interesting comments, I think one of the key things is to inspire in the singers belief in themselves and then belief in the group as a whole. And that brings great results.
Absolutely, yeah. Because then that may not be consistent across the group.
And and it can be even with professional choir. They can have lots of little things that you have to show. I know you can do this. You convey that, and genuinely know it, and then hopefully that will lead to them all believing, and then believing in the group together.
Yes, yeah, a uniform belief, yeah, across the whole choir. Brilliant, yeah.
I would say a kind of quirky personality. I've worked with a couple of conductors, and I've had a few that have been very quirky, and I find they have a lot to say about music, a lot of very interesting things to say, but at the same time they tend not to kind of force the issue. I don't work well with a conductor that kind of will bully you every inch of the way, and I don't find that works, but a good sense of humour is really, I think, key, and that's like kind of eccentricity, but not overly so, but yeah.
I think good sense of humour, or GSOH as they put in ads, GSOH is absolutely key, absolutely key. Yeah.
GSOH.
Great sense of humour.
Great sense of humour, yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely key. And I think sometimes that can go too far, because another thing I've written down here is about entertaining. We're not entertainers. We're absolutely not. And many, many conductors I see spend a lot of time trying to make their choir laugh so that they're liked. And actually, I think it's too far. We're not entertainers. Anything but. Jon.
With role models, maybe. I think that's the most important thing, as well as we have to be role models that are good. You actually asked for singing leaders, and nobody said have to be a good singer or things like that. I think it's interesting going all this way, and nobody actually says that. I think it's interesting. So I think you have to be a musician as well, in some kind of way, and use your musical skills into the...
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to have one. You've got to have solid technique.
It's so obvious, no one says it, but yeah.
Yeah, know your craft and be able to impart your craft. Absolutely, yeah. We've got some more people who've just come in. We're talking about, obviously, leader as facilitator and what makes a good singing leader. Do you have anything to add to what you've already heard? What makes a good singing leader in your view?
I can say what I would like to acquire, inspiration to do better myself. So I tend to be that entertainer that you just talked about, and I tend to also go in with a really well-formulated lesson plan, and I'd like to be more adaptable to what the choir wants to bring itself, and open my ears more than I open my mouth.
That's really, really interesting, because when we train, we're told, plan, 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 prepare, prepare, prepare. And we do, and that's, it helps us to deliver really good rehearsals. But we always need to be mindful of what we're met with. And sometimes that doesn't go with what we've planned. Right. So, yeah, thinking on your feet is essential. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Apologies that I was late. And I've missed quite a bit of it, so I can't really say that I haven't, because I haven't heard very much. But I mean, certainly the flexibility, the adaptability, but also you do need to have a lot of preparation.
You do.
And I do think that, modelling what it is that we want to sing, I know that I lean forward when I'm conducting, and so all my singers lean forward. It's about really just kind of being really conscious and mindful of what it is that we're doing, because what they'll do what they see.
Absolutely. We're visual primates. We copy what we see, and that's so palpable, isn't it, as leader and choir. Yeah.
Can I just say one thing? I'm quite poor hearing, so I'm not able to hear everybody particularly well. So if I'm staring at you, it's because I need to do a little bit of lip reading. But if you can speak up, that would be very helpful as well.
Great. Well, this is mostly it. So the rest of the session is going to be very active. So I've written down a list. The list is on your sheet, but I'm going to go through it anyway. I've said a warm and engaging personality, and I think that's the thing. It's about, well, Roland and I have been working on gesture and inviting singers to sing. And essentially that's what we need to do. We need to be warm, engaging and inviting. That's when people will come to us and want to sing for us. If we are that person that, says, come on, not good enough, again, this is not good for the soul, for the vocal folds, for anything. So the personality is key. Empathy and humility, that came out. Yeah, that was one of the first ones. We mustn't forget about who we are, but the empathy with the group is absolutely paramount. Musical and vocal knowledge, that's exactly what you were saying, Johan. You've got to know your stuff. And if you know your stuff, then you can adapt it to whatever you're faced with. An ability to teach well. How many conductors do you know stand up in front of their choir and it's all about waving the arms? And it's not about how to get from A to B, or how to rehearse a choir, or how to pace your rehearsals well. Yeah, I see a lot of adult conductors that want to know how to do this. But if you can't teach a song, how can you lead a choir? If you don't know anything about the voice, how can you lead a choir? An ability to listen and lead simultaneously. That's the hardest thing for me, because when we're up here doing our thing, doing our craft, are we listening to absolutely everything, or is part of our brain going, and now I've got to do a cut-off and a cue and a line and a this, that and the other. And obviously the more conducting we do, the better we get at that. But that's a skill that I think, continually need to hone and hone and hone. Our ears are finely tuned, but in the rehearsal, we need to remember to keep listening all the time. A toolkit to fix errors and improve sound. I use my toolkit 100% of the time in every single choir, because that's what we need to do. We need to be magicians when it comes to improving and improving and improving choirs. I always say to my choirs, yes, if they've sung something, that was fantastic. And then they all say to me, but I don't have to say anything. They know there's another layer, and then that will continually happen. So that's always, about making choirs improve, or enabling them to improve. And then diverse leadership skills. Sometimes, if you're leading some kind of gospel song, you need to get away from pattern. You just need to use rhythm, kinesthetics, absolutely anything but pattern. If you're doing barbershop, bit of pattern, an awful lot of gesture, an awful lot of kinesthetics. But, we need to be able to be flexible and adaptable depending on what kind of style of music we're leading. I've also put down here, I've talked a little bit about it, but musical directors should be able to enable, empower, enrich, enthuse, energize, engage, enlighten, but not entertain. Yeah? So that's on your sheets. Before we go into the practical, I just want to talk very quickly about kinesthetics. Do we know about kinesthetics? So, comes from the Greek word kinesis. Kinesis meaning movement, and aesthesis meaning emotion. So it's how movement and emotion combine. It's how we feel about sound and how we can move to show that sound. And it's unique and personal to every one of us. But as conductors, it's something we can apply, and we can expect our singers to also adopt as well. And then as a room, if we're feeling the same way, the sound is going to be transformed. So for me, it's about the Chinese proverb, I see and I forget. No, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. So we're going to do a lot of doing now. Right, this is the bit where I'd like you to move your chairs back and come and find a space. Can we move those that way? I feel like we're quite lopsided. We'd like to be central. That makes me feel very happy when we're central. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, we're going to start off with some breaktives, and I want you to allow yourselves to be children, to be playful, to be open to anything that I'm going to throw at you. So can you put on your motorbike helmet? Can you get on your motorbike? Okay, and we're just going to go... Let's see if you go faster. Amazing, good. Take it off, get off your motorbike. There is a bee in the room and it's flying around. You're invisible. Doesn't it land on your nose? Marvellous. We go into the bathroom, we turn on the taps. Brilliant. What's that? And turn the taps off. And we're going to dry our hands. Okay. One more. See how you can change the sound low and high. Marvelous. Good. And now we're quite hungry. We're going to have some porridge. And in the porridge, we are going to stir a big wooden spoon all the way around and go. Again. This is the TH sound. Bigger back. Fantastic. Good. So what we're doing is we're just creating analogy, imagery, yeah, getting all these sounds going. Primal sounds, we talked a little bit about that, of course. Can you imagine that your mortgage bill's gone up and you're going to just grow? Oh. Yeah, the bills are going higher and higher, so just a groan or a moan. Oh. A little bit longer. Oh. Marvellous. And an arch enemy has just got a parking ticket. What's the German? Schadenfreude. Yeah, so you're laughing at someone else's misfortune. And you're going to say, I know, big belly laugh. Yeah, put your hands out here and go, And maybe you've had a little bit too much champagne, the bubbles have gone to your head, and there's a little bit of a giggle inside you. Or maybe you're flirting in a bar. Very good for bath runs. Okay. Didos lament when I'm laid in earth. We're going to have a little bit of a sob and just go. And again. Good. And if you look around the room, there's all these expressions coming out. Lots of movements. It's wonderful. If we want to yell to someone for it, hey! 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 Yeah. Your hands down here. Do that again. Hey! That's good, doesn't it? And you always think, oh, I couldn't do that a lot. Oh, my poor vocal folds. But actually, it's just a primal sound, yeah? We're human beings. We're conduits for sound, yeah? So, one more. We've still got to pay off the mortgage for 30 years. Yeah, you can tell where I'm at. And we're just going to sigh. And another long sigh. High blow. Good. So all of these things, we can engage with one another when we make these primal sounds. We're reminding one another of who we are. We're just human beings, yeah? We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be awesome. We don't have to be amazing. We just have to, share a space with other human beings. Okay, can you say for me the words who, me? And I'd like you to say them in a disbelieving way. Can you say that? Who, me? Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? There was definition between the two words, and then it went up at the end. Interesting. Can you say that again for me? Who, me? Yeah, who? Me? Yeah, excellent. Inflections reveal so many things. Can you say those words again, but in a shocked way? Who, me? Yeah. Oh, how did that change? That changed a lot around here.
Active, brilliant.
Active, yeah, very active. Who? Me? Oh, yeah, there's all of that going on. Good. Now, guiltily. Me? Yeah, that took a bit longer, didn't it? Like, also, who? Me? And finally, comedic. So as if you're in a bar, like, joking with someone. Who? Me? Could it possibly be? Okay, here we go. Yeah, so that one had a bit more flexibility, yeah? A bit more freedom and fun. Okay, two different words. What now? And I'd like you to say them in an impatient way. Good. What now? Yeah, again, very quick, wasn't it? What now? Try in an angry way. What's happening? Yeah, lower. More force. Yeah, good. Excited. What? You can follow me around with all of my questions. That would be wonderful. Yeah, so it was higher. There was a little bit more exasperation in it. I don't mean exasperation. What do I mean? A sort of aspiration. Yeah. There's more air in it. And then finally, suggestive. What? Yeah, so again, there's length in the words, isn't there? And inflection again goes up at the end. So, again, we're playing, we're having fun. But what is it revealing to us?
Inflection means something.
Expression means something. Yeah.
Enormous variety.
Enormous variety, yeah. We've got low, high, long, short, different attacks, different use of breath, yeah? Different onset, different sounds. Anything else?
It's only a big effect here as well, each time, different effect.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so we're adopting a thought process, a character, yeah, inside. Hi, Max. Very welcome. Okay. Anything else anyone wants to share about that?
We're not just one-sided, we're very adaptable and we can change quite a lot on once to, I think that we're just one-dimensional.
Sure.
Perhaps.
And when we're singing, we often sing the words and the notes and the rhythms. But actually, when you add in the greater depth and the greater meaning of the text, it can transform how we sound. Yeah. Okay, we're going to have some voice scribbling conversations. This is any kind of combination between your favourite languages from around the world. I don't speak many languages, although after this week in Cork, I'm going to learn German. Because it seems everyone speaks German, except for me. So you might have a mix of what you think German, French, Swahili, Icelandic, any kind of language you think, make it up, be expressive. And as you're you know, being expressive and improvisatory, you're going to have a little conversation with someone around the room. Yeah? In fact, could you all come a tiny bit closer so we can just, yeah, into it. So it might sound like this. I mean, that's, you know, I'm just playing around. Sean, you okay? Do you want to chat with me? Or?
In the version to finish.
No, I mean, we can do it with anyone in the room. Anyone in the room. Okay, so turn to your neighbour, have a little conversation. You can use your arms, your hand.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
silly speaking fluently in whatever language that was.
Brilliant. Okay. So just talk to me about this. I mean, straight away, we've got an awful lot. We talk with our hands as well, don't we? Even though we don't know what we're saying, yeah, or what language we're saying it in, we still talk with our hands and our bodies and our faces, our expression, yeah? So even if there is no meaning, we can just make it up. And what's suddenly developed in the room?
The registers at which we've been speaking have extended, and when it strikes me perhaps when we're speaking our native language, we're almost on a monotone at times. And when we're inventing a language, it's exploring the top and the bottom of the voice a little more.
Yeah, interesting. I do a lot of choral speaking with my choirs. So we don't do notes, we just speak the rhythm of the words. And the choirs will be away in a manger, and the larynx is right down here. So I always tell them, in fact, my wonderful choral society know exactly what I want. And so they always give it to me, but it's up and down. Away in a manger, no crying. You know, and so there's this going on all the time. So if you do that with your choirs, make sure that they're being expressive all the time. Anything else that's been in the room? Anything else?
Humour.
Humour. Giggling. It was fun. Yeah, I gave you permission to be free. Yeah, to play like a child. Yes?
And it's also like what small children do before they talk.
Yeah, they bibble and
How
babble.
what they do.
Exactly. Yeah. And we don't give ourselves permission to do that anymore. So this is it's a really nice way in to just, you know, relaxing people and getting them out of their comfort zone. You will see, you know, some bass in the choir. There she goes again. But the more you do it, and the more, you know, there might be a tenor that decides he's going to talk to the bass who's doing those. And as the weeks go on, you know, they'll just say, oh, sorry, I'm just going to join in. And actually, that's what you want. You want a level playing field where everyone feels safe enough to engage, to be silly, to connect. Yeah? And then when they're having a beer later on, they'll you know, want to have a chat with one another because you've broken down any barriers. Okay. We're going to sing a song. It goes like this. I say hello, and how are you? I say hello, and how are you? I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you? This is nice in here. Woo! Woo! Yeah. I say hello.
I say hello.
And how are you?
And how are you?
I say hello.
I say hello.
And how are you?
And how are you?
I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. Your turn. I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you?
And how are you?
Great. I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how
are you? Okay.
I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you?
From the top, I say hello. And how are you?
I say hello. And how are you?
Good.
I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you?
I do the clips. I say hello. And how are you?
I say hello. And how are you? I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you?
Excellent. Now change it to something else. Stamps, grips, pen tap, bottom wiggle. I don't care. Anything. I'm freedom. I say hello.
And how are you? I say hello. And how are you? I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you?
Marks. Good. So you're being creative straight away. When we do I'm doing fine, we're going to do jazz hands like this, and we're going to walk around in a circle. Okay? Should we practice that from the top? Again, you can do clicks, you can do stabs, whatever you like. On freedom. I say hello.
And how are you? I say hello. And how are you? I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you?
Now, do we feel comfortable in the room shaking hands with other people, or would you rather not have physical contact? So who's happy? Yeah, and some people unhappy, not happy. That's fine. So what we might do is do a pretend handshake. Yeah? So we can do that without shaking hands. Yeah? Feel good? So we're going to come slightly closer, and I'd like you to meet a person, yeah, whoever that person may be. I say hello, and we're going to pretend we're shaking. And how are you? We're shaking the other hand. I say hello, and this one. And how are you? I know you just go around like that. Okay? Just shaking hands, but not for real, all right? So come and like find a person. Yeah, so when we go around, we then will find another person. Yes. You should have explained that more. So we're going round and round and round, and then as we go around, we'll find another person to shake hands with. Okay. So good. On freedom, I say hello.
And how are you?
You can join us.
Hello.
We do three.
And how are you?
No, love it.
I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you?
Keep going.
I say hello. And how are you?
Good.
I say hello. And how are you?
Find someone
I'm
new.
doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine.
Okay.
And how are you?
One more time.
I say hello. And how are you? I say hello. And how are you? I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you?
This is brilliant. You can do this all day, isn't it? Yeah. Have you met new people? Yeah. Have you met new people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you looked them in the eye?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you smiled at them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I mean, you can do shaking hands for real. You can do stamping feet. Anything you like. Play around with the song, improvisatory. You can do kodai. I say hello, do, ti. I say re, do. Yeah. Children get this wrong, you see. So it's something that you can do with little ones as well. And I do it with adults in workshops all the time. So if you want people in your choirs to bond, to get to know one another, just do a game like this. And it's straight ahead, just straight in there. Brilliant. Just breaking down barriers and getting people smiling and looking at one another. The other thing you can do is, I say hello. So you can do that in pairs as well. Shall we practice that? Ooh. Stay. Ooh. Here we go. Tricky territory. Find a pair. We're not going to change pairs. Find a pair. Label yourself A or B. Okay, good. And then, did you notice I put something in?
Yes.
I put a higher harmony. The higher harmony.
So I sang, and you've got all the harmonies. I'm doing fine. That was the higher harmony. If you'd like to sing that, you're very welcome. And the lower harmony is, what is it? I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. Yeah, so don't worry, it's on your sheet. But play around with it. Okay, let's try alternate. A's go first. I say hello, and then B's go. Okay, let's try A's first, then B's do the F. I say hello, I say hello, how are you? And how are you? I say hello, I say hello, and how are you? And how are you? I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. And how are you? Yes. I say hello. I love that you changed the words to so are you. Because now you know that everyone in the room is doing fine. Yeah, and so are you.
No, I have to tell my choir that I'm rubbish at words, and I've always changed words.
Me too. I think so. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on to something else. So, we're laughing together and we're creating unity and connection. This piece is called C'est Noir de Demain, and I'm sure many of you know it. Yeah? Okay, I'll teach it anyway. And it goes like this. C'est noir de demain, c'est noir. 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 C'est noir de demain, c'est noir de demain. C'est noir de demain, c'est noir de demain. C'est noir de demain, c'est noir. 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 Beautiful. So we've got two short phrases and a longer phrase throughout the scale. Let's see if you can sing it all the way through. Off we go. C'est noir de demain, c'est noir. C'est noir de demain, c'est noir. C'est noir de demain, c'est noir de demain. C'est noir de demain, c'est noir. Good. This time, when we get to the end, I'd like you to bend your knees and bowl a bowling ball. Okay? And this is for c'est moi. Let's try it. C'est moi, c'est moi. Good. C'est moi, c'est moi. C'est moi, c'est moi. C'est moi, c'est moi. Beautiful. Good. So that sound all of a sudden is quite alive, isn't it? Yeah? Wah. Good. You can also use a kinesthetic gesture. Remember, kinesthetic meaning emotion. Yeah? So movement and emotion. So we can use our hands here. C'est moi, c'est moi, c'est moi, moi. Yeah, this is really helpful. It's a really quick way into choirs. If you're not hearing the N, for example, c'est moi, you can show that with your fingers. Should we try that? Off we go. C'est moi, c'est moi. C'est moi, c'est moi. C'est moi, c'est moi. C'est moi, c'est moi. Very good. And how does that feel with your sound when you make this sound? I mean, on the recording you'll hear it's fabulous. Changes it immediately. It bloomed. It bloomed, exactly. Beautiful. So a movement can help that. Or if you're on the podium and you don't want to bowl bowling balls on the podium, which quite frankly no one really does, you can show this in your gesture and your fingertips. Yeah. There's another little blue note that I'm putting in, and I'm showing that with a shoulder roll. Have you noticed that? Yeah? Can you put that in, but make it bigger this time? So we're curving the blue note. Yeah. Yeah, a little shoulder here and there can really help. Here we go. Beautiful. We're going to walk this around the room using the space, okay? We're going to walk to the pulse. So the pulse is this, yeah? And when we get to this part, we're going to stop and we're going to bowl our bowling ball. So it'll look something like this. Then we go on. Send one, maybe different direction. Yeah, send one. Change direction again. Send one. Send one. Okay? So remember all of your little bits and pieces. Change direction for every phrase. What do we need to remember doing this exercise, do you think? If we're changing direction. What's that? Smooth. Yeah, smooth. We need to walk smoothly. Anything else? Beware of others. Make sure you're not going to walk into anyone, yeah? So, in order to do this, just going to move that out of the way.
I apologise in advance given my condition.
Okay.
I have a spatial problem.
No one bump into Mervyn. Mervyn's going to be a loose cannon. That's fine. We've got loads of space here and not too many people, which is perfect for the workshop. So, yes, you need to look out, yeah? Not at your feet. And don't be inside, what am I doing again? You need to look out and engage with people while you're doing it, okay? So, here we go. Send moi, send moi. Send moi, send moi. Send moi, send moi. Send moi. Oh, this is fabulous. You're amazing. So now, this time, we're going to do exactly the same thing. But if you were born between January and June, you would go first. If you were born between July and December, you would go second. Okay, so first is and then their second. Okay, great, good. Can I just make sure, so who's going first? We've got enough people. Good, who's going second? Not many people. Okay. Excellent. Good. Off you go. Send on in, 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 send on. Yeah, so beautiful. Oh, we're going to do it one more time, but this time we're slowing it down, okay? So calmer tempo, calmer singing. We're just going to let it all happen really naturally, yeah? Not that that wasn't natural, but it was a bit busy, yes. So, yeah, so we're just going to make it nice and calm, slow down the tempo. Same thing. Off you go. Send moi de 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 send moi de. Oh, this is heaven. Absolutely beautiful. I hope that's been recorded. Beautiful singing. So how did this experience make you feel?
I liked how changing the direction of our walking helped me initiate my attack of each line and really re-energize each repetition as something new.
Yeah.
It's the same words over and over.
Exactly.
But it was fresh every time.
Yes. It's a Ghanaian song and it's just about a mother calling her child by her pet name. It's you know, very sort of short, frippery, if you like. But yeah, that's really interesting. The change of direction is very, very downforce. So that it makes it feel good and gives it a fresh purpose. Anything else?
I liked the energy that we got on the wall.
Uh-huh.
Because it's so easy for that phrase to flop at the end.
Exactly. Yeah, so it can re-energize that note. And also, when we do this, what happens here? What happens in our body when we make that sound? If you were standing singing in choir,
It's like the natural sound. Sound.
yeah,
Some natural sound.
some natural sound, yeah. It's very real, it's very connected to your energy centre. Yeah. If you didn't have any life or energy, you wouldn't have this centre of energy here. We wouldn't have that connection to our vocal sound. So allowing ourselves to bend our knees and to move through a sound is very, very powerful. Yeah. But it makes us feel free. You know? We're not thinking, oh, is this in tune? Are my descending notes okay? We're just, we're given something musical to be expressive with. And we are, so we're getting out of perfection and we're getting into reality. Write that one down. Perfection. Okay, good. We're going to move on. We've only got 10 minutes. So, please can you pick up your sheets? And we're going to have a look at the French song on the sheets. Does anyone know this piece? La 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 la, je ne l'ose dire. Pierre, yeah, do you know it very well? It's all what? I'm coming close. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so basically, this means je ne l'ose dire, I don't say. Yeah? yeah. But I want to say, but I don't say. But I want to, but I don't. Yeah? That's essentially the feeling of it. Can we just sing it through so we know how it goes? Okay. And we'll do it in 2. Ready? And. La, 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 je, la, je, la, 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 je, la, la, je. Excellent. I just allowed you to pick apart. I honestly couldn't tell us whether we have them all or not. But let's see. Where are the basses? Excellent. Where are the tenors? Marvellous. Altos? Great. And sopranos. I love the way singers. Oh, I need to. It's just this side of the room. Good. Okay, so now we're going to do a bit of. Oh, Morris, bless you. A little bit of choral speaking. Can you say after me? La, la, la. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose, je ne l'ose, je ne l'ose, je ne l'ose, je ne l'ose dire. Je ne l'ose dire. Yeah, and can you be expressive with je ne l'ose dire? Je ne l'ose dire. Uh-huh. So it's a little bit like gossiping. Yeah. Okay, so it's that kind of thing. Okay, one more time. La, la, la. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose, je ne l'ose, je ne l'ose dire. Je ne l'ose, je ne l'ose, je ne l'ose dire. Yes. Can you say je? Je. And do a kinesthetic action and go je. Uh-huh. Good. Many schwa sounds in French. Je, le, lo. Je, le, lo. Aha. L'ose. L'ose. Yeah, caress it. L'ose. And then dire. Dire. Uh-huh. So So we need to ah here. Dire. So we've got je, ne, lo, ze, dire. Should we try that? Je, ne, lo, ze, dire. Aha. So a little bit quicker. Je ne l'ose dire. Je ne l'ose dire. Marvelous. And now we can just press down. Maybe we've got one of those squishy Pilates balls. And we're just going to squash it down. And go, je ne l'ose dire. Ready? Je ne l'ose dire. Marvelous. And now we're going to drop in, I don't know, sweet pebbles, something into some water. La, la, la. Here we go. La, la, la. Aha, beautiful. So this is very light. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. Yeah? Here we go. Ah. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. Beautiful. Okay, I was doing the ladies' part there, but we'll do the men's part actually. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. Ready? And go. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. Excellent. So again, this is that sense of weight and resistance, and we've been talking about that in conducting as well. So when you're conducting a piece, you can add in all these little kinesthetics into your gesture. Okay, can we now sing this? And ladies, your rhythm is slightly different. It's an upbeat, so we've got la, 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 je ne l'ose dire. So we've got that tie over the bar line, which is going to stretch that out. Shall we try it? And let's sing it with the notes as well. Here we go. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. La, la, la. Je vous dirai. Et la, la, la. Je vous dirai. You're still looking at the notes going, how does it go? I'm not sure. Okay, I'll tell you what. Everybody sing the tenor line in any octave you like. Ready? Off we go. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. La, la, la. Je vous dirai. La, la, la. Je vous dirai. Beautiful. Everyone sing the bass line. Off we go. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. La, la, la. Je ne vous dirai. Et la, la, la. Je vous dirai. Good. That one seemed to be harder. Should we do the bass line again? Yeah? Okay. E flats. Don't forget your E flats. Okay. Off we go. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. La, la, la. Je ne vous dirai. Et la, la, la. Je vous dirai. Marvelous. Can you say to me? Je vous dirai. Je vous dirai. Yeah. You know, like in Harry Potter, when they light something and it just disappears. How did it happen? That's what this is. Je ne vous dirai. Yeah? And you can almost hear the silence in the room when you do that. Throw away the note. Can you try it with that little bass motif? Here we go. Je vous dirai. You can hear it, guys. It's really palpable. I love working with silence. Yeah? Release of sound and the silence in the room can be very powerful, palpable, and rhythmic. Yeah. This is a case in point. Okay, let's sing the alto line. Ready and go. La, la, la. Je ne l'ose dire. La, la, la. Je le vous dirai. Et la, la, la. Je le vous dirai. And with a float. Je le vous dirai. Ah. Je le vous dirai. Oh, it's amazing when you do that. Sopranos, I think you're fine. We don't need to go through that. Let's put that all together again. And can you remember every time you do la, 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 what you can do? La, la, la. Yeah? And then dire. It's going to be dire. Yeah? Off we go. La, la, la. Je vous dirai. La, la, la. is for you in bar 5 to put in a really big accent. And I want you to engage with that yell sound that we used before. Hey! Yeah. So it comes in at the end of bar 5. La, 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 je voudrais la. Yeah. So there's a real big sense of accent. But I'm not saying accent, am I? I'm going, ooh, let's think about it this way. Okay, should we try it from bar 4? Da, 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 da. Off you go. La, 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 je voudrais la, je voudrais. Well done. So now we're going to do that again. And can everybody bend their knees like big stuff? Yeah. You might be like weightlifting. I don't weight. Although I do have a choral colleague who does weightlifting. She's awesome. So that's what we're going to do, the end of bar 5. And then when we get to the very end, you're going to throw something up into the air. Yes. Touch paper that just disappears. Okay, so off we go. La la la, je vous dirai, la la la, je vous dirai. Ah, well done. Fantastic. So it is the end of the session, but we started a bit late, and I wonder whether we might all just have something to sing us out, a very calm thing. First of all, any comments on that in terms of kinesthetics or sound or anything that's jumped out at you?
Thank you for the imagery. It's really nice to hear not just adjectives, but rather a visual. Yeah.
As singers, we all think and feel differently about our own voices and the sound of our own voice. We don't hear our own voice the same way as other people hear our voice. But it's a really nice way in, isn't it, to try and capture a sound or a feeling through kinesthetic gestures and through imagery and analogy. Yeah. I use it with children all the time, but also with adults. There shouldn't really be, a differentiation for me. Anything else? Any other comments?
Very time-saving in terms of getting the result you're looking for without angst and rehearsal.
Yes, yeah.
And enjoyable at the same time. You always feel engaged with breathing, but you feel engaged your whole body, so it's a much more wholesome experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good word. I like that. Yes, what was my thought as you were speaking? Yeah, so we're not saying, right, choruses, pencils out, accent here, carry through there, pianist note here, circle that. We're just making music, we're lifting the music off the page, and we're making it real straight away. Yeah. Peter, can I finish with a little song? 2 minutes? Does everyone need to be outside? We got that? Okay, it's Yard Under Yard. And instead of me teaching it to you, you can actually see it. Now, I stole this song from a friend who stole it from a Finnish person. Apparently it's Finnish. And she didn't get the words to the second half of the song, which is why it's ya and just ya. All right, so ya dan do ya, and then ya. Just a very calming thing to wrap up. Okay, I'm going to do it in a different key. I think F is nicer. I hope that's a throw anyone. Should we start reading? Here we go. Beautiful. One more time, please. This is so beautiful. Now, when you sing it, can you just sway for me? So we've got a compound sway. Fill out all the long phrases, okay? So I don't mind if someone wants to lead the direction of the flow. This would be grand. Here we go. so beautiful. Now, who would like to come forward and just lead this as I play? We're going to do it in 4 parts. Someone, anyone? You don't have to. Excellent, marvellous. So all you're going to do is say, right, this part, you're going to start first, and then this part, you're going to start second. Yeah?
Do I just smile?
You just smile. You just smile. No. Yeah. Okay. Everyone swaying, everyone feeling this gorgeous sense of life. Whenever you're ready.
It's after the first phrase, they come in with the second, yeah? I can finish that anytime.
Oh, heaven. Hello. I just wanted to finish with something gentle and beautiful, just to sort of bring everyone together for the end. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.